Tomb Raider King fans? This is Chris Bolts, and I'm coming in with my episode review of this week's episode of Tomb Raider King, episode number 8, The Secret of the Crow. Now, this episode picks right up after the events of the ending in episode 7, where Yanagi went to the TKBM Corporation to try to negotiate with Ogawada to get his credit back from Gene Richard. He got jumped by Ogawada's guards. Ryoga busted in the nick of time to save him from being beaten to death by Ogawada's guards. Ogawada's thugs prepare to engage Ryoga, but Ryoga has the Shakespearean pen. Now, this pen is a relic that if it writes anything down, it becomes reality. It writes down that the guards will suffer an unbearable agony in their nether regions, and that's what they do. That brings this particular scene to a conclusion. Yanagi and Ryoga leave the TKBM Corporation. Ryoga wants Yanagi to restore his relics within 3 days. Yanagi protests and tells him that that's not enough time. He needs more time to be able to do that. Ryoga takes the relic off of the person of Yanagi. The relic's name happens to be the Japanese ukiyo-e painter brush, and this brush is used to restore relics. Yanagi tells him that you can do it yourself if you want, if you need it in that amount of time. And so Ryoga begins to use the brush. He does restore his gold axe, but the downside is the relic starts to deteriorate. Ryoga tells Yanagi that because he doesn't have high affinity, he's not able to use this relic as effectively as Yanagi. So that's why he needs Yanagi to restore the relics on his behalf. And during that time period, Ryoga earned 2 new items. He got a new title, which is called Inspired Restoration Expert, and this gave him the skill of tomb restoration. Tomb restoration will allow Ryoga to restore a tomb after its relic has been raided and taken from inside the tomb, because normally once a relic is claimed, the tomb collapses. Then Ryoga gets a call from Edward. Edward will eventually become known as the King of Riches, but right now he is simply a relic broker. He has a job for Ryoga. The job involves working for the Republic of Bent, and Ryoga would get to keep the money on this excavation, while the relics recovered from the operation would belong to the Republic. Ryoga, however, knows that this job is not coming from Edward specifically, and he asks Edward, who is it that's actually hiring me? Edward tells him that the real employer is someone known as General Kiera Clark, who will later become known as the Queen of War. That immediately tells Ryoga that this is not an ordinary job. Still, he accepts the job without any precondition. But before leaving, Ryoga turns Yanagi over to the Holtons. The reason that he's doing this is because Ryoga realizes that he is not going to be able to remove the relic from Irene's person. That relic is known as a parasitic relic, and it attaches to the host's body. Removing it is going to be very difficult. Instead, what he wants to do is help her control the powers and abilities of the Relic of Misfortune. Once they get dropped off at the airport, something is wrong. They already are encountering something. Lots of people's belongings are missing, including Yanagi's pen. In addition to that, relics are also stolen off of Ryoga. Someone is using a relic themselves to steal from people. He uses his rope relic to find the thief and eventually catches them. The thief turns out to be a young girl from America. Her name is Vivian, and she is an agent who is using the Medusa relic. Ryoga doesn't care if she's a child. If anyone is using relics, he will deal with them accordingly. Vivian lets him know that she's part of an excavation team and the group is connected to the CIA. That makes Ryoga even more suspicious. And so Ryoga decides that he's going to recover the real relic and then create a forgery and give that one to the general instead. Ryoga uses the Tome of Hemarubai on Vivian. And the rule is pretty simple. If Vivian tells anyone what Ryoga is planning, the tome will activate. Vivian goes back to her handler, whose name is Thomas. Thomas comes down on her really hard and is upset that she lost their relics. And he demands to know who was it that stole the relics. Vivian is at first reluctant to say anything, but then the female CIA operative that is with them coaxes her into telling what it is, and that when she starts to tell them, she starts laughing uncontrollably. Ryoga and Yanagi sneak aboard a boat to reach the coast, but their trip doesn't last long and sea creatures begin to attack. These sea creatures bite the sailors. They become zombified, places them under the control of a mysterious master, and Ryoga realizes that this is the power of another relic. Ryoga uses the Shakespearean pen to make the sailors bow down to him and stay in place, but the relic knows about Ryoga. And more importantly, it knows about the crow. Apparently, Ryoga's existence has already spread among the relic. Ryoga doesn't care about that, but he does want answers, and so he asks about the crow. And the answer reveals the truth behind one of the most mysterious relics in the show. The crow is a god-grade relic that absorbed the power of its prey. Eventually, the crow made a contract with a human, then it betrayed the other relic. The crow and its human partner began working together, using the crow's power to enslave other relics. The other relics eventually turned against them. They managed to capture the crow and lock it away for a long time, but the reason they were able to defeat the crow was because its human partner had betrayed it. The relics imprisoned the crow and then killed its master. And Ryoga realizes something disturbing. He realizes that that tomb that we first see him in the first episode was the tomb of the crow. And then after hearing the entire story, Ryoga starts to think that he might actually like the crow. The relic warns him that siding with the crow would make every other relic his enemy. Ryoga doesn't seem particularly concerned about that. The relic has no intention of letting him leave. It summons beastmen to attack Ryoga and Yanagi. Ryoga is dashing back and forth using the Egyptian blade and starts cutting down multiple beastmen. In an attempt to save Yanagi from being attacked by a beastman, Ryoga cracks the Egyptian blade across the skull of the beastman, thereby breaking it. And as if things couldn't get any worse, the CIA group caught up to them. Thomas, who is like some type of superhuman being, just starts running up the ship's bow and engages directly with Ryoga. Now, this is our first proper action scene between two humans. Now, I know we've gotten a lot of action here and there in other episodes, but this is the first hand-to-hand combat where we can see Ryoga's fighting prowess in full. And it's actually a very exciting action sequence, which, again, it's not going to get anywhere near shonen anime like Solo Leveling or Naruto or Black Clover, any of those, or Bleach. Definitely not Bleach. By the way, did you guys see Bleach got a 10 out of 10 episode 5? Oh my god, that was some beautiful animation and beautiful artwork. Everything about that episode was beautiful, including Ichigo's Bankai. But this one is good enough for the Tomb Raider King, and I really liked it. And that's where the episode ends, with a fight between Ryoga and Thomas. Ryoga has uncovered some of the truth about the crow and discovered that the relics themselves are aware of his existence and learned that they all want him dead. And now he is engaging directly with the CIA and this powerful relic that can summon sea creatures to attack people. This entire episode was really fun to watch, and I really enjoyed that action sequence at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a 9 out of 10. What did you guys think of this episode? Jump down in the comments, let me know what you guys think. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out. And remember, this is Chris Bo signing off. I will catch you guys in the next video. Whoa. Now, before you guys do head on out, just want to let you guys know that in addition to being a content creator, I am now an independently published author. I have now published my very first book, and here it is right here, called The Confederate, Time Doesn't Stop for History. Now, this is obviously the hardback cover, but it does come available in a paperback and as well as an ebook. It's available through Amazon. And this book right here, it's about a character that I created by the name of James Rutledge Kennedy. He's a former Confederate soldier, and he wants to go ahead and start his life anew away from all of the troubles and travails that he has encountered ever since he survived the Civil War, as well as his time a few years afterwards. He's ready to settle down, stay out of trouble, and live a peaceful life in a fictional city called Canyon Bluffs. But unfortunately, James always runs into trouble, and it's up to him as a man to determine how he wants to handle that trouble, if he's going to run away from it or if he's going to go ahead and solve the problem. And he's going to be meeting some very interesting characters that I think you guys are going to fall in love with. This book is available again. Hardcover is $20. The paper book is $10. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can download it for free or purchase it for $9. Either way, I really do appreciate your guys' support. I really do hope you guys go out and check the book out. Once again, it's called The Confederate. Time Doesn't Stop for History. Let's go ahead and support your local author, support the content creator. Whatever the case, if you check it out, I really do appreciate your support. Now, I will catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy.